Jonathan Turley joins us now with some analysis. Some are suggesting that there are 34 felonies involved here. That was one of the so-called leaks last night. We'll see whether or not that pans out. If it is a leak, I think we had a different story here. For a week, people like you have been saying, I don't know anything until I see the indictment. It's all in the indictment. So apparently we'll get that at 2:15 if it comes before. Right. That's an issue. But so many have suggested this has to do with payments about Stormy Daniels. What if it's not about that? What if it's about claims made about values of buildings that the former president used to own in New York City? Have you considered that?
We have, and Lanny Davis, who represents Michael Cohen, said that people are going to be surprised. There's going to be new stuff in this indictment. We will see whether there's other crimes. The other possibility is that the district attorney took every single transaction and made it a separate crime. If that's the case, then he hasn't really improved his position much, because many of us believe that the effort to convert this New York misdemeanor into a felony using federal election law violations really is legally flawed and may not survive judicial review. So multiplying that flawed theory 34 times doesn't make it 34 times stronger. So we're going to have to see if there's something else in his hand. Does he have a new crime? There has been discussion that instead of having a new crime, he might be also including payments for a second woman around that same time. But once again, that's a replication of the same underlying theory.
Yeah, we know that David Pecker was in there twice, head of the newspaper company that was overseeing some of these, basically collect the story, then pay money, get money for it, and sit on that story. And Karen McDonald is the other person that you refer to, who was also involved in this kind of transaction. Is it relevant? Do you think that he made two appearances, David Pecker, and do you think that that might tell us a little something about the larger scope here, perhaps?
It may. He is most relevant to that second individual, but that occurred around the same time. It has the same statute of limitation problems. The New York misdemeanor has a 2-year statute of limitations. It's dead as Dillinger unless you can zap it back into life by saying that it was connected to a felony. But what has been discussed for months is that that felony is a federal crime that was never charged by the Department of Justice. And there's a good reason for that. I don't think this is a federal election violation. Many people don't, including people on the Federal Election Commission. So what we see in this indictment is very, very important. The reason this is such a sad day is that this indictment came about in the most political possible way. If the indictment turns out as we've been discussing for months, it is really going to be one of the lowest points for law in New York. I have no problem with indicting a former president. I don't even have a problem with indicting a sitting president. But you have to do it for the right reason. Then it is the vindication of the rule of law. This would be the very degradation of the rule of law. If you take something 7 years ago on this really attenuated legal theory and try to bag the president or former president. Now, Bragg promised to do that. Donald Trump is his manifest destiny. He promised voters he would get him on something. Whatever comes out of that gate today better be more than this long debated theory.
Wow. Professor, thank you for your time. This particular conversation is just the beginning of numerous ones that we will have today. So thank you, Jonathan Turley, with that. Thank you very much.